This question asks us to find the equation of a line that passes through two certain points and then express the line in two different forms, in the y equals mx plus c, which we call the gradient and y-intercept, and in intercept form, which is that form of something x plus something y equals something. So they're the two different ways we're going to express the equation of this line. And it passes through these 2 points, 2, 5 and 6, 8. So what we can do, first of all, if I want to express it in the first form, I can do two different things. If I can work this out any way that I feel, I can actually go to my statistics and remember the core part of this subject. And I can put some points in to x and y. So here, if I'm going to note that at point A, x equals 2 and y equals 5. And at point B, x equals 6 when y equals 8. And so what I can do is I can write that for my first point, x equals 2 when y equals 5. And my second point, x equals 6 when y equals 8. And you can see these points here match these points here. Then I can go to calc, regression, linear regression, and set my x and y list exactly the same way that I do when I'm finding a regression line. But there's one big difference, and that is here I have to make y equals mx plus c. So I can't do y equals a plus bx, which is what I would normally do if I was doing a regression line. That's out, and so I've scribbled that out in a very messy and unattractive way. I have to make sure I set my calculator as it's set here to y equals ax plus b. And when I set it like that, I find out that a equals 0.75 and b equals 3.5. And therefore the equation of my line is going to be y equals 0.75x plus 3.5. And that's by using this information from my calculator. I know that this is going to be my line. And that's the correct equation for my line in the y equals mx plus c form if I don't have to show any working out, if I can just throw points into the calculator. But if I do have to show working out, things get a little bit more tricky, and this is what we do. So you'll notice now I've pulled a little bit of a stunt, and I've put the answer already up here. Now, of course, I don't know the answer because I'm working this out, but secretly we do know what I'm aiming for. Now, I can do, again, if I do this algebraically, I can do this two ways. But I like to do things with as little as possible new information as I can. So I need to remember a couple of things. First of all, my answer needs to be in the form of y equals mx plus c. So it's going to look like this. Which means if I need to find my equation, I need to find m and I need to find c. So let's start off with m. M, of course, is the gradient, and the gradient is rise over run. There's lots of different ways I can work out the gradient, but as I've said, I love to do things as simply as possible. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sketch my plane and I'm going to put my 2 points in there. Point A is at 2 and 5, so it's going to be somewhere like that. There's 2, 5, and that's point A. This is pretty small. I should probably do this bigger. Point B is at 6 and 8, which is maybe somewhere over here. 6 and 8, and there's point B. So as I go from point A to point B, I go up a certain number of points and across a certain number of points. And they're my rise and my run. So as I go from a height here at A, my height is 5. As I go up to my height of 8, my rise is from 5 to 8. So my rise is 3. As I move from A to B, I go across from a distance of 2 to a distance of 6. Remember, my first coordinates give me that. So from 2 across to 6 is 4. So therefore my gradient is 3 over 4, or 0.75. So there's that. My second point is my y-intercept, and I need to work out what that is. Now I can do that two ways, and people who do methods might know the idea of having an equation y minus y1 equals mx minus x1. And if you want to do it using that method, that's great, and you're very, very welcome to. But I want to stick to y equals mx plus c, because I can solve this using y equals mx plus c too. What I'm going to do is I'm going to say now, I know that my gradient is 3/4. I know that I can find a y point and an x point from choosing any one of these. So let's choose point A. And I'm going to write my critical values here in green. So here, y equals 5, because at point A, y is 5, and there it is. X equals 2, because at point A, x is 2. So when x is 2, y is 5. And the next thing I know is that my gradient, according to what I've already done, which is clearly brilliant, my gradient m is 3/4. And I'm going to now substitute all of those numbers into this equation. That means when I see y, I'm going to write the number 5. So this becomes 5 equals m. Well, I'm not going to write m because I can write 3/4. Then rather than x, I write 2 plus c. So I know that 5 equals 3/4 times 2 plus c. What I can do now is I have this equation here and there's only one unknown. So I can go to the main screen again and I can write 5 equals, go here to my keyboard where I get my fraction, 3/4 times 2 plus c. I don't know what c is, so I'll highlight that interactive equation solve, and I'll solve that for c. And I press OK, and I find out that c equals 3.5. So what I'll do here is I'll show that I use my little solve, and that's how I show that, with a green arrow, and I'll say c equals 3.5. And there's my answer for c. So that means I know m equals 3/4 or 0.75 and c equals 3.5. So that means that if I know that m equals 0.75 and c equals 3.5, then my equation of y equals mx plus c, and I have to ask for your forgiveness for going up here, then y equals m, 0.75, x plus c, 3.5, and I'm going to put that in a box. And look at this, it's like magic. This and this are the same thing. So I've just worked out the equation of the line using algebra or using my calculator for the shortcut, and I get exactly the same thing. So I know that y equals 0.75x plus 3.5. But part 2 of the question says I need to write this in intercept form. And intercept form tells me that my cloud and my triangle and my square should all be whole numbers and not fractions. So I need to now rearrange my equation so that it looks like this. So I'm starting off with y equals 0.75. Well, we know that's 3/4 x plus 3.5. And I need to now think about how I can represent 3.5 as a fraction. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to find, and welcome back to year 7, my highest common factor with my denominators. So I need to find my denominator that I can work through here. So this is what I'm going to do. I go to my calculator and I write 3.5. And I'm going to see if I can represent that as a fraction. And it tells me 7/2. So I did 3.5 in standard and it says 7/2. So let's see what I can make here. Y equals 3/4x plus 7/2. If I look at this, my highest common factor here is the 4, which means I want to now multiply by that. So my denominator here is going to tell me what I multiply. I'm going to multiply everything by 4. And what I'm going to get then is 4y equals 3/4 times 4. So let's find out what that is. We'll go here and we say 3/4 times 4 equals 3. So then that will be 3x plus, let's find out what 7/2 times 4 is. 7/2 times 4, and we get an answer of 14. So I know 4y equals 3x plus 14. And now I have everything in whole numbers. So this part of the pie is delicious, and we've done that. Now what I have to do is I have to get it so it looks like something x plus something y equals a number. And I need to therefore get my x's and my y's on the same side of my equal sign. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to subtract 3x from both sides. So if I subtract 3x from this side and I subtract 3x from this side, I'm doing the same thing to both sides. My equal sign, negative 3x and negative 3x are the same. I'm doing the same to both sides, so I'm allowed to do that. And I end up with negative 3x plus 4y on this side. There's my negative 3x plus 4y equals, well, 3x minus 3x is no x's at all. So I have nothing here, plus 14. So finally I end up in my intercept form with an equation that says negative 3x plus 4y equals 14. And that is my equation in intercept form, and that's all good. But this has been a little bit complex and I'm not 100% confident. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to check. So I'll write in green, check here. And I know that I need negative 3x plus 4y equals 14 to be the same as this line. And they look really different to me. So let's have a look at if they are actually the same thing. And I'm going to use the calculator to work it out. I'm going to write here my intercept form for my calculator. So let me just get this clear and I'll write negative 3x plus 4y equals 14. And I'm going to highlight this. And the way I transfer between intercept form and y equals mx plus c is I solve for y. Solving for y means I'm going to get an equation that says y equals, and my mx plus c is in the form of y equals. So I can trick my calculator to giving me an answer. And when I press OK, unfortunately, I'm getting that, which means there's something going on with my calculator that's not working. So what I need to do is I need to reset it. It's annoying, but this is one of the problems with the calculator. So to reset, I'm going to go System, Reset, Reset, ignore the caution sign and say OK. Everything's clear now, and let's do it again. Minus 3x plus 4y equals 14. Let's see if this works now. Interactive equation, solve, y, OK. And fortunately, it doesn't want to work. I was hoping it would work there because things go wrong. So now I'm going to do a third step to check. And it's to say 0 minus 3x plus 4y equals 14. I'm doing the 0 here because there's something going on that the calculator doesn't like. So I'm going to press on and have the confidence to say, okay, this equation is the same as 0 minus whatever. So I do that, interactive equation, solve, and of course I'm solving for y, and okay, and it tells me y equals 3/4 x plus 7 on 2. That's not as handy as this 0.75 plus 3.5. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to now say, let's go into decimal, and I'm going to press OK and look. Y equals 0.5x, so 0.75x plus 3.5. That answer and this answer are the same. Even after all those problems, I can feel good about what I've done, and I'm rewarded because I kept trying and I finally find out that what I did was the right thing.